Okay, perfect. Start. Okay, we are open. I don't know if you know this. I can see the bottom menu on your computer.
Oh, yeah. I think it'll disappear after. Yeah. There we
Okay.
go.
Perfect.
Hey, everybody.
All right, we have 40 people, 45, 50. Exciting.
Yeah, let us know where you're joining us from. Andy's in the house. Hi, Andy. I'll have the chat bar open over here. We got Indiana in the house, Ohio, North Carolina. Maybe we can hit all 50 states, Jennifer. You probably had all 50 states registered, right?
Wow, yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Look at everybody popping up. Love it. California, New York, Iowa, Delaware, Louisiana, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, New York. Christina, yes, we'll see you soon at Ensborough. Iowa, Massachusetts, Texas,
We'll be
Missouri.
there. Rise Vision will be there at Ensborough too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Welcome, everybody.
All right, we'll give everybody maybe we're right on the no, so let's do maybe like 2 minutes.
Sure. Everybody's just saying where they're joining from. We're going to talk about it a little bit because your back to school checklist just got something added to it at the beginning of July. They started this new social media platform called Threads. I'd love to know when you jump on, like Threads, if you're on Threads, you like thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever you want to do, if you're on Threads or not. I'm going to talk about it and give you some guidance. So
it could be the next big thing. I mean, think about like when Facebook started, people were pretty hesitant to get on Facebook.
Okay, we got some that have joined day one, no Threads yet. Both of you are just fine. Like that, both answers are good. Bridget's never heard of Threads, so that's awesome. You're here for a reason. Threads or just social media in general, you guys, can be really overwhelming. Yeah, Shauna, one-person show. You still only have so many hours in your day. We can't hand out more hours.
Oh, Heather, yikes, Threads now.
Yeah. Anna says it's simple and Twitter confused her, but it seems more simple. Liliana hasn't heard of it, or we'll explain it just a little bit.
All right, Andrea, why don't we get started?
Sure. You just want me to kick it off?
Yeah. And then as people join in, we can get them caught up.
Okay, awesome. Hey, everybody. Thanks for letting us know where you're joining us from. Have over 100 people on here live. And so this is going to be interactive. Okay. I am so excited to be partnering with Rise Vision for this little webinar on your back to school social media checklist for schools. Of course, there's checklists for everything. Why not have a social media checklist for your school? So my mantra, if you've hung around me much, I wish this was my quote, but it's George Kiros's quote. We need to make the positive so loud that the negative becomes almost impossible to hear. And you guys, social media can be overwhelming. My intent with this webinar is to make it a little less, overwhelming. Okay. We're going to break down some simple things that you need to think about. And I think I'm breaking them down about 10 or 11 things, but you just need to maybe pick one or two, okay, out of this webinar that you're going to take action on. And we really will help elevate the storytelling for your district, or school. I am the CEO and founder of Social School for EDU. I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I lost my job in 2013, thought it was the end of the world. I started my own business doing social media, and found out that schools actually needed help. So I poured all my heart and soul into school social media. I now work with more than 500 schools around, well, even around the world, but mainly in North America. Okay. And what I do is I try to share what I've learned. We actually manage social media for over 80 school districts across the country. And now I've written a book. I'm a podcaster. I got a weekly show out there. I'm a blogger. I'm a YouTuber. And I have 6 kids, and 3 of those kids are entering college for the first time this fall. So things are going to be a little different around here, but it's all good. And my host today is Jennifer. Jennifer, why don't you tell us a little bit about Rise Vision?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Jennifer Jennings, and I work at Rise Vision. So we are the #1 digital signage software solution for K-12 schools. So we are wanting to enhance the communication that goes on within schools and within school districts by making it super easy to communicate with everybody. Rise Vision is used by over 3,000 schools across North America, and we have schools around the world. So that means we have over 35,000 active displays. And we make it super easy for schools. We have over almost 550 templates that you can plug and play and update your branding. So it's completely unique to your school as well. We have a 99% customer satisfaction rate, and we've been in business since 1992. So we've been doing this for a little while. So we kind of know what we're doing. But yeah, we're here to make communication within the school super easy and way more effective.
And I recognize a lot of those names that you have down there, and you just listed a few out of your 3,000 schools. I just have to say that following up with this, Jennifer has a really great blog of just how social media ties into those visual displays that can be used throughout your school. And she's got a lot of great ideas. So you will get probably a link to that along with this recording afterwards. So yes. I love it. Love it. So just a little background on me. New Auburn was my first school that I ever worked with. You know, it's my first school I ever worked with because look at my hashtag is so boring. Hashtag New Auburn. We like to have a little more oomph and pride and, you know, but New Auburn is a school district of 300 kids K through 12. Okay. So these are graduating classes of 22 to 30 kids per class. It's one school district, one school. I went to school in New Auburn, and back in 2014, the superintendent, who was also my mom's boss, he found out that I'd lost my job, and he's like, hey, maybe Andrea can help us tell our story on social media because I am busy superintendent. I don't have time to learn all the intricacies or how-tos or safety or security things. And so I partnered with my first district, and now I work with schools across the country and the world. But I got started here and I love it. This is one of our Facebook covers from a couple years ago now. But we're out on Twitter, we're out on Instagram, we're out on Facebook. And in the time from when we started back in 2014 up until 2023 now, we almost have 2,800 fans. Okay. So I told you like 300 students in the school, 550 people in our whole town. But yet we have over 2,700 fans who see about 3 posts a day during the school year. So in the summer, it's a little less, although today that was, more because we have more things to share. But we have over 2,700 fans. And look at this. This is without advertising, you guys. Without advertising on social media with Facebook, we're reaching over 5,000 people a week just through Facebook alone. We don't have a local newspaper. Okay. And if you happen to have a local newspaper, I bet their headlines aren't the same as what your headlines would be. Right. So we really want to use our social media channels to celebrate kids, celebrate your staff, and connect those stories to the community. So that's my mission. I am here to help you tell more stories. Now, I like to use this example, this comparison. I got to grab something. Can you tell what this is? This is a picture frame, okay? What you see in front of you right here is any given day in your district or school where there is some sunshine and there's some sunny, like blue water, and there's some really dark clouds and there's some rough water, maybe even a few lightning bolts over there, right? At any time you're dealing with some really great stuff, football team went to state, we've got some kids in this robotics competition. One of our students won the spelling bee. We've got really great things happening. And then we've got a bullying situation that parents are blowing up on social media. And maybe we've got school board issues, happening. So there's always drama and there's always good stuff. Our job with social media is to take this picture frame and put it around the left side of this image, the sunshine, the blue water. Okay, we got enough people over here talking about negative stuff on their own channel. It doesn't mean it's not happening, but our job with social media is to highlight the happy. Okay. I've got new magnets now that I give out when I'm in person that say highlight the happy. And it's really about highlighting those great things that are happening, and they're happening every day. And we're going to give you a few tips on how to tell those stories in a consistent way. I got a whole bunch of free support out there. Hopefully some of you listen to my podcast that comes out every Monday. Every single Monday, you get a new episode. Can you tell where I'm from? I'm from Wisconsin. I think I didn't even mention that, but I'm from Wisconsin. So you get to listen to this accent every week on my Mastering Social Media for Schools podcast. And then I've got this book available now, Social Media for Schools. Okay. So I tried to put some of my advice in, and that's now available. But let's get to the good stuff. Okay. We got 10 things to get through, and I am watching the chat. So thank you so much, Kelly Meredith, for saying that my podcast is valuable. That helps because I'm not talking to myself, right? I'm like, So I'm going to give you 10 things. We're going to go through 10 things. You're not going to stress out about all 10 things. I want you to take action on one or two of these. Okay. But this is your back to school checklist. Okay. So we are going to talk about identifying your channels and assigning responsibility, building an army of storytellers, understanding engagement and reach, building your brand kit, building some features, right, for social media, which AI can help. We're going to ask questions. We're going to get students involved. We're going to use Instagram Reels, and we're going to do a little prep for negativity. Okay. So this is kind of your back to school social media checklist. So number one, this is really important. Identify your channels and assign responsibility. Okay. There are a lot of social media platforms that are out there that your school or school district could be on. If you are trying to do them all, Jennifer, right before this, we were talking about Pinterest, and, we've got LinkedIn out there, and we've got Snapchat, and we've got TikTok, and we've got Facebook. And oh my gosh. And there's probably one of you, or maybe there's a small department, or maybe you're not even a communications person. You're like administrative assistant, media specialist, teacher that has social media on your plate. So you only have so many hours in the day. So it's really important for you to identify the channels that you want to use to connect to your community, and also assign responsibility for who's going to manage that page. Now, number one, hands down, Facebook. And yes, Amy, we have to add Threads now, but Facebook is number one for every school we serve. Can somebody enter in FB if Facebook is your number one channel? Okay. On the chat, I want you to type FB in the chat if you agree with me. If it's something else, Instagram, Twitter, you can enter that too, but I'm seeing a whole bunch of Facebooks. Okay. So that's just where we can meet most of the people. It doesn't mean the other channels don't have an audience. They may. But I just want to say that in looking at all of this, Threads just came out. Okay. Threads is a direct response to the people who are annoyed and mad about Twitter. Okay. So Threads is an app that Meta created. Meta has Facebook, it has Instagram, it has WhatsApp, they own all those companies. So it's another app. It's a separate app that you have to download called Threads, and it works a lot like Twitter. There's a couple things you need to know. One, if you create a Threads account and then decide you don't want to use it, it's connected to your Instagram account. And if you delete Threads, you're going to delete Instagram. Okay. So that is really, really important to understand. And by the way, nobody's going to steal your username if you have Instagram. Nobody's going to steal your username for Threads, because in order to change your Threads username, you have to change your Instagram. Okay. So just understand those two relations. Okay. And I just don't think, you don't have to jump into it if you're not ready. And if you want to open it up, because there's a lot of advantages, people that follow you on Instagram will automatically follow you on Threads. You could create it, and then you could just make a statement that says, hey, we're really busy. I mean, really busy. We're really busy getting ready for a great school year. So we're checking out Threads, and we're going to see how that fits into our communication plan. But right now, for all of the great stuff happening with our school, you want to jump over to this Facebook page or this Instagram account. Okay. So that's perfectly fine to put on there if you decide to do it. If you don't have Instagram already, don't add it right now. Don't worry about it. Okay. So we'll take questions later if you haven't on Threads. There's different audiences on different platforms. And by the way, with Threads, if you didn't have a huge audience on Twitter, you may not then have a huge audience on Threads either. I just don't know. It's too early to tell. But there are different audiences on each platform, a little bit different method of how you write for it. But I want you to do Facebook really well before you worry about these other channels. Okay. And if you only have time for one, I really suggest that it be Facebook. Now, you also need to assign responsibility. And I am wearing the storyteller hat in that little picture. So some schools have it set up where there's a lot of people that have access to maybe the district Facebook page, and a lot of people can post. And that's challenging because posting on top of one another, writing for social media, there's a whole special art and skill, and what time should you be posting? So we really do believe in assigning some responsibility for who's going to post, and definitely recognizing not only your district-wide channels, but if you have school social media pages in addition to like your school district or your school entity itself, and then assigning responsibility at each level. So I hope that makes sense. So we're really focusing on who's responsible and what platforms are we on. And if you don't know, or you're like, I think we're on this, you should get clear. And sometimes it's time to cut some channels off and say, we're not going to focus on that. Okay. Number 2 of this back to school checklist is build an army of storytellers. You cannot do this job alone. You can't, because there's things happening literally every moment of every day that, are great things that are happening in your school. Everyone is a storyteller. So as we lead in to this back to school season, everybody's excited. It's going to be the best year yet. Get your storytellers involved. And I recommend identifying one way of getting content submitted to you, the storyteller. I should have my hat on right now, your storyteller hat. Okay. One email that we send it into. Could you have a form? You could. But when I send something in, I got to know where to find the form before I can send it to you, which sometimes can be a barrier. Some of you will say, oh, should you be cutting quick? Ashley, I read your comment quick and I was like, are we cutting out? Like, am I cutting out? No, you're talking about cutting Twitter. Twitter, you should definitely talk about it, Ashley. And if it's not big in your district, you may want to consider shutting it off. Or this is another suggestion, Ashley. Hey, we're not actively updating our Twitter account right now, but if you go over and if you want celebrations and updates, check us out on and direct them to those other channels. Okay. But it has to be a decision that you guys make at your own district or school. So one email address where we get content from elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, community partners, field trips, sports teams, comes into me if I'm the account manager, which I am for New Auburn. I still do New Auburn social media every single day. I had massive overwhelm yesterday because it was the fair, and all the kids were displaying animals, and the teacher kept sending me one email at a time with a picture. And then I feel like I got to post it right away, but I don't, because we've developed a system. Anyways, I'm in the trenches with you, but you have that person on the other end of that email, then they make the post, they upload the video, they monitor the conversations that happen. Okay. Some of you may be saying, I don't care how I get content. I go and look for it. I get it texted. They'll DM me on Instagram. They'll send me a message in Facebook. They'll send it to my personal email. Do you think you're going to miss something if they're submitting all those different ways? Yes, you are. Okay. So you're going to miss something. And the other thing is when you have a general email like this, you are going to, if you go on vacation, which you deserve to do, somebody else can check this email for you. Okay. Because if you sent out an email to everybody and said, hey, I'm on vacation, Veronica is going to be taking over. So send your stuff to Veronica. They're not going to remember to send it to Veronica. So get one way. And Veronica asked a question. Have you come up with an effective way to encourage members of the community to send content to post? Yes, Veronica, you can put out your email address to your community. Tell me something good. What if you had a form and a feature that was like, tell me something good about the district, and you were continually asking, and then Veronica, you can ask offline as well instead of just on social media. But every time you share a story that someone shared with you, then you can say, hey, if you've got something great to share, here's how to submit it. Okay. So I answered live, and I'm going to say that's done. Okay. Now, encouraging your staff to help you out. I've got, anytime there's something like this link that shows like this, these are blogs that I've written. They're also included in my book as well. But, you really want to have at least 10 minutes to talk with new and existing staff at the beginning of the school year. You want to encourage them to follow your channels. You want to show them examples of great stories. You want to share the reach of a few popular posts. Here's a whole checklist, another checklist, because we love checklists, another checklist for how to get staff involved. Okay. So that's perfect. And that'll have a whole bunch of bullet points and then new staff as well. Okay. Now, another way of just getting that army of storytellers is getting your students and community involved. So Veronica, this also answers your question. Really promoting that hashtag, getting those Facebook, any channels you are on, you want those posted. You want QR codes on programs. You want to mention your social media pages when you have people in the, butts and seats and they're, at a back to school event. You want to make sure that you say, hey, we're actually going to be sharing pictures from today's event on our Instagram page. And guess what? If you're me, you're like, oh my gosh, I did not wash my hair today. I look like crap. I hope they don't take a picture of me and post it, right? So if nothing else, they'll look at it just for that. And we want people looking at our pages. So let's see, understanding engagement and reach. Okay, your back to school checklist. This is really, really important. I hope most of you understand this, but it's really, really important. It's going to drive what you do this year. So Facebook, it's the #1 channel. Followers, just because I have 27, almost 2,800 followers don't see every post. There's this algorithm going on that Facebook is determining how great my content is. And that determines how many people are actually going to see it in their news feed. Like newsflash, most people don't go to your Facebook page and just look at it. No, they go to Facebook and they start scrolling. Okay. So this is an example. This page has over 5,500 followers now. Okay. Because they switched kind of to followers because there's always confusion with likes and followers. 5,500 followers. And this post reached 2,863. It did not reach all 5,509 people. Okay. What helped it reach 2,863 is those 48 likes and loves, 3 comments, and 8 shares. That's called engagement, when people hit the like button or they comment or they share. But all of those interactions are not created equal. Okay. Interaction will drive the reach, and they do this in a hypothetical scale. This was from quite a few years ago that I learned on Social Media Examiner. But it's similar. They're always tweaking it. But when somebody hits the like or the love button underneath one of your pictures on Facebook, it's worth like 1 point. But if somebody comments, it's worth 7 points. So it's 7 times more powerful when somebody actually says, great job, Danny, or whatever, than just hitting the like button. And then when they share it on their social media page, so they're just like, oh my gosh, check this out. My child just whatever. That share's worth 14 points or more, because if it depends who they're connected to. So sometimes you get people with a lot of followers, you get organizations sharing what you're posting, you're going to reach a lot of people. So it's important to understand how this impacts your reach, because ultimately that's what you care about. You want to reach more people with your stories. So this is important. I feel like I'm saying that a lot, Jennifer. I'm sorry. It's all important. But if you want to gauge yourself against other schools, because I work with a lot of schools, hundreds of schools, reaching 33% of your followers with a post is where you should aim or above. Okay. So sometimes you reach 10,000 people and you have 2,700 followers. Well, that's awesome. That's way above 33%. But sometimes you're only going to reach 300, and that's way under 33%. So when you look at this number, and you can find it in different places now because of New Pages Experience. Thank you, Meta, for changing everything. But this post reached over 1,400 people because it had 82 likes and loves, 5 comments, and 4 shares. If this didn't have those 4 shares, I bet this post maybe reaches 600 people. Okay. Pay attention, look at your posts, see what reaches the most people, and then look at what the comments and shares are. And then guess what? Post more of that content, right? Homecoming doesn't come along every day, but it certainly does well when we share that. Look at this one, McFadden, 627 likes, or now we could say 627 follows. A great goal for that would be 33%, would be 207 people. And I'm not sure how many that reached. I think that might have been a Facebook Live, so that was cool. So I hope that makes sense. Makes sense, guys? Okay. So we've already went through, oh my gosh, quite a few of our points. Now we're on maybe the down stretch. We're going to talk about writing for social media. Social media is an art form, okay? And sometimes we can get stuck on, what to write. And we'll be like, write me a post for, social media, ask a question, because that obviously can help drive engagement. We've got some emojis. We've got a hashtag, 86 and 87-year-old. Look at all this. 379, 380, 381 likes and loves, 31 comments, 6 shares. So that reached a lot of people. And that's awesome. But there's a way, and there's an art form to using AI. How many of you have used AI to help write social media posts? Let me know in the chat right now. Alyssa has, Gina has. I just came out with a blog yesterday on some prompts, and I've had special. Some have a little. Anybody? Okay, no. And that's okay. But you can literally say, write me a social media post with whatever. So I just want to make sure that when you use AI, you're not writing an AP style, okay? And Alyssa says, AI has been saving my life. That's a true story. By the way, you guys, yes, and I have a bunch of ChatGPT blogs. AI and ChatGPT are not going to take your job. Who's going to take your job is people who know how to use AI or ChatGPT. And I truly believe that, okay? So just so you know. So instead of AP style for social media, you definitely want to use a conversational style. Instead of one paragraph of text, just one big chunk of text, you got to use some double spaces. Okay, guys, look at all those double spaces. Even though it doesn't look like a double space, that's a double space in Facebook. So that's really important. Instead of long paragraphs, use bullet points, use emojis. Instead of posting every photo submitted, sometimes you're like, they send you pictures and the kid like honestly looks like this because they just took a whole bunch and sent them all to you. Definitely post the best photo first. Okay. And then instead of using emojis to cover faces, because that's another issue, you want to crop and you want to watch for hand signals. Okay. So you really do want to write for social media. AI can definitely be helpful. I don't know if I thought I had an example in here of one before and after, but and maybe I do later on. So I love that so many people are commenting. Lifesaver for letters and grants, and it's changed up your social media game. I think it honestly makes you more creative too, right? With your writing. So here's just really creative. The bullet points are the 3 billy goats. Gruff is the goat. And then the bear and the pig and the picture. So that's awesome. Sprinkle in those emojis. It just makes it much more interesting than a big old paragraph of text. All right. And then this is really important too for writing your posts. If you have to post something informational, which, it should be more celebratory, but if you have to share something like this, what I really love about this example from Lancaster is that they restated what was in the flyer, which is not ADA compliant, and they restated it in the post itself. Okay. So, and then there's check marks here. And yeah, I love ChatGPT, but ChatGPT or AI is even in a lot of our platforms now, like Canva has Magic Write. So check things out because there's going to be more and more platforms that just incorporate AI directly into their platform. Who else has it? Snapchat has it. I loved it. The other day I was in the car with a gal and she was writing a poem about like basketball plans and goals and all of that. And Snapchat wrote her a little poem. So it was pretty cool. So here is just an example of, it makes it really readable, right? With all of these bullets and look at the little alarms, like that's a little warning light that you hope you never see when you're driving down the highway. And then they also linked to, where they go to register. So great example there. This is just an example from one of my blogs. I said, write me a Facebook post with emojis about the last day of school and kids got to play games and have ice cream. Literally within 2 seconds, this is what it came up with. Now, I may eliminate some of those emojis. I may rewrite it. I don't recommend just going with what they say. And I definitely don't recommend copying all the way down where it says regenerate response, because I've done that before. And then you copied that in and then people know that it's from an AI tool. But definitely check that out. So I've got a couple blogs on this topic. I don't know if Rise Vision has even more. There's a lot out there, but I specifically wrote about social media and ChatGPT for social media managers for schools. All right. Now, this is really important for back to school. And Jennifer, do we have a question? Oh, wait, hang on.
Sorry, I'm muted. One question that I'd like you to go back to is Ryan asked what hand signals that you're watching out for. You'd mentioned that in the photo.
That's a great question. So, and thank you. Just pop on whenever you've got something. So hand signals, you guys, I'm 45. I know I look like I'm 20, but I'm 45. Okay. So I don't know what all the hand signals mean. And I am serious. Like this shows up in everything. There's different things and so we really watch for hand signals, and it's kind of a hard no unless it's a thumbs up or like a number 1 or sometimes a peace sign. But I know even this, like that means something else. So we really try to watch for hand signals in the pictures, because otherwise there can be controversial things. And it's like all of a sudden somebody's sticking up a middle finger, which by the way, you have to be very careful because kids are sly and slick and you don't even see it. But keep an eye out for those hand signals. And, sometimes if you're taking it, and I'll tell a teacher like, okay, maybe I can crop it to get that hand signal out of the picture, but maybe I can't. So that's what I'm talking about, hand signals. So I hope that helps. Building your brand kit. Now is the time. Back to school. School hasn't started, hopefully for you on July 13th. So we really want to build your brand kit so that you can really stand out on social media. Graphics and imagery and looking consistent, the consistent feel, the brand voice, all of that. I talk a lot about that. I have a whole section in my book on branding for social media. But I want you to work on building your brand kit. And this is a beautiful cover image. They even have their logo, their beautiful dragon trademark there. But look at all those. This is a Facebook cover. This is not just, this is our school district. This is a picture of our building. Look at all of this. This is like, I want to go to school there. I mean, the cheerleaders got goggles on. They're eating watermelon. They're playing on the floor there, maybe in 4K or kindergarten. They're working on their computers, probably in 3rd grade. It's really powerful. So we want to have a strong brand kit. So one thing that I'm going to suggest is making sure you know what your hashtag is. What's your hashtag? Tell me in the chat, what's your hashtag? Hashtag 202 proud, Pines Pride, I Forward Wisconsin, WSV Pride. I love these because you got to have something specific to your school. If other people are using your hashtag, then that's not a good thing. Okay. Shamrock Pride. Maybe there's no other Shamrock. So maybe you'll be fine with that, Gail. So that's awesome. So we got to have one hashtag. Okay. If you have too many hashtags, then some people don't know what hashtag to use. And then I think that you have lost the battle because they don't even know which one to use. And somebody just asked, Deborah asked, how can you tell if a hashtag is in use? Type the hashtag into Twitter or type it into Instagram and see what pops up. Okay. Hashtags will pop up based on most recent there in Twitter and Instagram, and you can see if somebody else is using it. Okay. You want to have your in your brand kit, you want to have your official logo, not the 13 different versions of the Trojan head that we have in New Auburn. You want the official logo. You want your official colors. We're talking hex colors, the codes. So this is like a hex code, 53147A is that specific purple. This yellow right here is F5C300. There's color droppers and things that you can do. Make sure you know what your colors are. Make sure you know what fonts you use, and then make sure that you have some templates. Okay. So these are some templates that we have created in a Google Drive. So, hey, if we've got a bunch of event photos that we're linking to, we might put that down. Although if you can, you want to just put the pictures in there. School board meeting, you know, some of those things. All right. So we've got some examples of what a branding guide looks like. Now, some of these are pretty advanced. And maybe right now you're like, Andrea, no time to do that before school starts. I got 50,000 things on my to-do list and I can't add one more. But this has some examples linked because we learn best by looking at examples. So this was a great one from Megan Anthony, my friend who used to be at Grennan, and they went through and talked and shared what their approved marks are and how you can use them. And here's our approved colors. So that's what a true like brand kit looks like. Then there's this one from South Washington, which may have won a big award with NSPRA, but they're also featured in the book. And so anyways, you can look at what their branding guide is and you can download it there. So anyways, we're giving you a ton of examples. And then I also want to point out that these are some of the common graphics that we create and we put right in that little toolkit. Because guess what? Sometimes it's 5 a.m. and there's a lot of snow in the state of Wisconsin. Or if you're in Texas, if there's just a little bit of snow, then you've got late school, right? Just because you're not prepared for the weather like us. So weather update is one you'd want in your toolkit that you can quickly grab when you're laying in bed, hopefully, and not up already, and that you could post if you needed to. But here's just a few that we recommend. Those are some common templates that you could put in right now into your branding kit that's going to save you time. If you don't have a school hashtag, great way to do it is to talk to your leadership team, get some ideas, potentially have a contest. I've got more resources on great hashtag ideas, although you just got a bunch of them from our group, but there's a few blogs on my website that you can check out. All right. Establishing 1 to 2 features is really going to help your social media efforts this year. So the foundation of your storytelling is really everyday learning. Okay. That's the foundation of what you should be sharing. However, if you can have something that you feature on a regular basis, let's say, you see that number 4, hashtag Throwback Thursday. We share pictures this morning, a picture, is it yeah, it's Thursday. Time has been just flying by. Throwback Thursday this morning, one published. I had it scheduled out, so I didn't even have to think about it. But that was a picture of an old yearbook. Okay. Right now we can think of new staff introductions, and we could put those out on a regular basis. Students who shine, staff spotlights, and then alumni. So I'm going to share some examples with you. Okay. But this everyday learning that happens when school's in session, and maybe you have summer school right now, that's the foundation of your storytelling. Okay. That's happening all the time. But here's some of these features. You could have a student feature. You could have teachers nominate a student. And every week on Tuesday night, we do our students who shine. I take a picture from the directory, from the school directory, and I use that because that makes it really easy. I don't even put their name. We don't even use last names in these because you sometimes got to be careful about last names, right? So we don't even use last names, but we'll say, hey, this student got recognized. We create the graphic. We put in what the teacher said about them. And then we watch that positive engagement grow. And we get new followers every week. Why do we get new followers every week? Because this is my 15-year-old. She's now 15. This was when she was probably 13. She got nominated for Students Who Shine. I was so proud, right? I'm going to share that as a parent. And all of a sudden, her great Aunt Kathy and her Grandma Lois from Ladysmith and all of these other people start following the page. Okay. So does anybody do a student feature? Love to know that. And if you have, awesome, keep going. If you haven't, maybe this is one thing out of the 2 things that you want to do. Sarah has the caught being awesome. Yeah. If you have any other phrases you use for what you do, highlight student of the quarter. And that's a great point, Brenda. If you already have a student of the week or a student of the month program, make sure you're recognizing them on social media. Okay. Staff features. We can have detailed features or we can have general shout outs. Oh, Jennifer, I'm kind of answering questions as we go. So we want to make sure I finish in the right amount of time. So we can have staff features, detailed, or just a general, hey, let's recognize the people that make this school awesome. This week's staff member is Bonnie Hallberg. Thanks for all you do. Okay. Don't pick somebody that's in trouble. Okay. Don't pick somebody that like left the school district or got fired 2 weeks ago. Any of the examples I tell you not to do, I or my team have done. Okay. So I'm just telling you, these are things to watch out for. If you want to recognize just staff in general, bus drivers, custodial crew, especially over summer, guys, custodial crew is busy, and your lunch crew. They're going to reach a lot of people. And I love that comment by Patty Hundley of I have no kids, but thank you. That's a job. Thank you again with like 50 exclamation points. So this is good. And if you're a brand new school with very few, yeah, some of these are going to be challenging, but I've got other ideas for you, Stacy. So hang on. Okay. New staff, you can feature, there's some helpful questions. Again, you're going to get these slides, so you're going to be able to look back at it. Snapshots from old yearbooks, the big hair, right? I love it. The old technology, the school spirit. We post those on Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Alumni feature, reach out to your alumni. Every time you post an alumni story, you share a link to get more. Okay, this is a good one for you who has the brand new school, Stacy, is asking questions. So we have driven incredible reach, even to those who are like, Andrea, you're crazy, but I'm going to try this. This is on Facebook, the background color that Facebook gives you. Do not use a Canva graphic. Don't use a Canva graphic. Use the background that Facebook gives you. Write a question like, can you name your 5th grade teacher? Who was your favorite teacher? Can you name your 2nd grade teacher? Easy questions. This one had 1,300 comments. Okay. That is amazing. And Kelly did the alumni roll call. What year did you graduate? Why not a Canva graphic, Deborah? Because it won't reach as many people. Facebook can't read the question. Facebook knows there's a question in this because you wrote it in their app with their background. I'm telling you, don't use the Canva graphic. Here's 52 questions. You're going to get to download this. Okay. Ask easy to answer questions. You could do this every week. That's why I gave you 52 of them. I usually do them in the summer. Some do better than others. These are all kind of related to schools. Okay. And these are other ways you can ask questions. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay. This was all about a holiday tie contest, but think about ways that you can ask some questions. Look at that 71 comments. Edgar gets comments, but they don't usually get 71. And when you drive up one post that gets a lot of engagement, it's going to help all of your posts be seen by more people. Do you understand? Okay. So it's not just a per post. Facebook's looking at your overall stuff and they're like, man, this school or this page is putting out good stuff. I'm going to show it to more people because I can count on them to give good stuff. Okay. And then this is other ways to ask questions is just asking for some engagement. Call to action, CTA. This is another, and this is linkable. Okay. So I got to keep going. Yes, Shatanda, that you're going to get that list from Jennifer. She's sending out all these slides and all the resources. Okay, get students involved. I am telling you, if you can get students involved, and this is a little Instagram reel, which is like TikTok, but this is not a reel. This is an Instagram story takeover. I didn't share the sound, so we're going to go quick over this, but she shared her prom, like behind the scenes, and they're getting their flowers. And then I think they're doing their hair or something like that, all the makeup. So if you can get students involved, you are instantly going to get more followers because students care what students are doing and they know it's cool. So what ways are any of you using students to get involved right now? I thought. Okay. I think, yeah, I knew I had this. So getting the students involved, you could do IG story takeovers. You could do interns. So you could develop a social media intern program. What about your yearbook club, marketing media journalism class? You could promote events, and have students help promote events. You don't always want to have like just the student council president or the captain of the football team. You want to look at different perspectives. This is a great article on your Instagram story takeover guide because that is really helpful. And yes, Ashley said they've done some super cute reels. They help set up your Instagram highlights. And then, yeah, you do need to either share the username and password or give them a device to use during the event or type it in for them and then change the password afterwards. So there are some ins and outs, but I do cover that all in this guide. Okay. So you can check that out. Using Instagram Reels. Again, I'm not going to show this just for time, but this is a great one with Pioneer Joe. I had a whole blog on that, but Instagram Reels are like TikTok, but for Instagram. Meta basically copies every other channel, just like now they've copied Twitter with Threads. So Instagram Reels was TikTok for Instagram, short little snippets that are shorter. And some of those have really big reach. So what's awesome about Reels is you're going to reach more people because it shows it to a bigger audience. Basically, when you post or when you put stories out, it basically goes to your followers. But with Instagram Reels, they're trying to, based on people's interests and hashtags that you use, they're showing it to more people. So I only had about 700 followers, but this post reached 4,280. I've had posts reach 42,000 people. And all it was a series of like 8 pictures from graduation put to a song of, hey, look, mom, I made it. Okay. I like to sing too. So, but all that music on Instagram Reels, by the way, is copyright free. They use that. So we've got some more resources there, but check out Instagram Reels. And then my final checklist point is prepping for negativity. So yes, there are some Grinches out there. Okay. And right now, social media can feel a little bit like this wrestling ring or WWF or E or whatever it is now. It can, like, everything can be controversial. So we have to be really careful of what we put out on social media. We don't put all information out on social media. We learned that during COVID. We didn't put masks or no masks out on social media. We did direct communication. So certain things belong on certain platforms and not everything belongs on social media. Social media is really about celebration, direct communications for information, and you really still can be transparent. Ashley asks, does it depend on what your profile is, whether it's business or not? I don't know if that's for music, but you definitely want to have a business account, and then to have all the music for Instagram Reels, you need to have a creator account. So again, you can still be really transparent. This is all the ways you could communicate, right? There's like website, email, newspaper, podcast, blog, magazine. So just like you would not put everything on the scoreboard display, if you have a nice enough school and you got a big scoreboard display, just like you wouldn't put everything up there, you would not put everything on the social media line item. Okay. Use the right tool for the message. Otherwise, you're going to get beat up. Okay. Posts aren't seen by all followers. Not everybody's on social media. Almost everybody's on social media. Comments can come from outsiders. Social media is meant to be social. And if you don't want comments, you shouldn't post it. Can you limit comments on social media posts? Yes. Should you? I don't recommend it. Because as soon as you do that, then they're trying to hide something, or they won't let us comment, and they know when they can't comment. You're busy. Do you have time to respond to all the comments? So I talk a lot about dealing with negativity, setting yourself up for success with policies. We talked a lot about that actually today earlier with some people that I serve. So that is talked about a lot in the book, but I wanted you to know negativity, it happens. Just remember, every comment doesn't deserve a response. You try to take the conversation offline. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. We have an open door policy. Will you please reach out to Mr. or Mrs. or Dr. or whatever. You may temporarily stop posting or even sometimes unpublish the page for a little bit. And you can hide or delete per your commenting guidelines. I don't recommend doing that without having some guidelines behind you. You want to work with your legal counsel. Okay. So, it is okay, Casey, to have posts go both to Instagram and Facebook at the same time. I say most people have a favorite social media platform, and because of the algorithm, you might not see everything anyway, because if you reach 33% of your followers, that's a lot. So I wouldn't be afraid to place the same content on both channels. All right. These are some helpful tools. They're all clickable. Okay. 100 ideas, 50 more, 30 ideas for Facebook Live. Share these with your staff. Okay. But keep the main thing, and that is celebrating the heck out of your school district. This book will help. It'll help give you the foundation, maybe give you a little bit of backing as far as you've had these ideas, but you haven't really been able to implement them. So that book is available. Somebody said they just got it on the Prime deals. So that was cool. It was probably on sale. I don't know if it still is, but you can get that, and you can head over to my website to do that as well. And then I want to turn it back over to Jennifer, and then we'll open it up for questions to talk about Rise Vision.
Yes, perfect. So if you do have questions, just put them in the chat right now, because we are running really close out of time. So somebody had mentioned if we were going to talk about Rise Vision. So Rise Vision is used in, like I said, 3,000 plus schools. It's great for promoting your school and your seasonal events. So a couple of examples. So June is National Safety Month. So, if you have a sun safety campaign, that's great. For sharing that content. You can use it to make a great impression in your community. So when people first come into your school and they're greeted with digital signage, and there's a way for people to find who they're looking for, directions to find the office or get in touch with the principal. So that's a great way to get involved with your community. Like Andrea said, showcase student and staff achievements. So you're celebrating, what your staff are doing, what your students are doing. This is perfect for, celebrating kindness, which is a huge thing that schools are looking at now. You can use Rise Vision to create a positive school culture. So again, just going back to engagement and getting that positivity out there. And then of course you can use it to improve school safety. So we integrate with a lot of emergency alert systems. So if you have a system and there's an emergency, a tornado, a fire, anything like that, you can have all of your digital displays turn over to that emergency alert, and everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing, where they're supposed to be going, and you can help, improve that safety that way. Do you want to click that for me? Yes. So 3 major ways that Rise Vision improves communication and creates a positive school culture. So we have a super easy to use system. We work with almost any hardware, which is perfect. So if you have Chrome boxes, or you have Screencast, or you have Airtame, or you have any kind of media player, we can work on that. We have amazing templates. So we have over 500 templates that are geared towards schools. And that's those templates are great because you can use them on your digital displays, brand them, and then you can use them on your social media as well, which is perfect. And we also have the best service. So if you have any problems, any questions, our support staff will get back in touch with you within 1 business hour, which is crazy. And they're always there to help troubleshoot the system and just troubleshoot any of your media player questions as well.
So Lorna asked, we really need the capability of copying and pasting templates. Is that in the pipeline? Do you know?
I don't think I understand the question, like copying. Oh, we really need the capability of copying and pasting templates. Lorna, please send me an email or reach out to our support team just for a little bit more information so we can address that a little bit better.
Okay, that's awesome. So we're getting into the questions, and if you have to bow out, you can. You're going to get the recording. But Jennifer asked, for people who think posting more than once a day on social media is way too much and spamming followers, what do you say aside from the algorithm argument? Jennifer, this is a great question because schools are different than businesses. Okay, I as a business try to only post once a day, or maybe twice a day, but it is a lot for a business. Schools are different and you have a lot of great things happening. Do you really only think you need to share one thing a day when you've got a, school with 5,000, 6,000 students? So I'm telling you, I have looked at a lot of reach with a lot of different school pages, and you do need to space them out. You don't want to post at 9 and 9:10 and 9:30. because that's when you have your time to do social media. We're posting 6 a.m., 7 p.m., pickup time. So if pickup time's 3:30, I'm posting at 3, 11 a.m. or 12, for lunch. So think about those times when there's some of the peak and schedule those out. Again, I talk about it a lot in the book, but also on my blog. That'll give you some more reasons. So I hope that helps a little bit, Jennifer. Savannah asked, since Meta created Threads, is it possible to post on the Meta suite like Facebook and Insta? Not yet, but I'm sure it's coming. So it's not available yet. It's not available through any APIs. So even outside things can't do that and schedule for Threads, but I'm sure it'll be coming. Jennifer, do you offer any live training options for beginners for Rise Vision?
Yes, so we have bi-weekly training and it is 100% live. Patrick runs that and it's fabulous. So it's bi-weekly for 30 minutes. So when you sign up with Rise Vision, you'll get a link to try that out or to join that training session. And like I said, you can always email our support team and they'll walk you through anything that you have questions about. I'm
so pumped that we got so many questions about Rise Vision, Jennifer. This is awesome. So do you need the hardware to use Rise Vision, or can they use their own hardware?
Yes, so you can use your own hardware. You do not have to, but we don't even sell hardware at this point. So we work with whatever hardware you have.
Okay. And then can you use Rise Vision templates on social media? Yes, you can, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Okay. Any other questions that you have? I got one in the Q&A box. Is it okay to create the post in Instagram and have it automatically post to Facebook, or do we need to recreate it for each post, each platform? So listen, let's just look behind the scenes here. Here is the page that I manage every single day. If you want to get critical of what I do, because what I do is not perfect. This is my little page for little New Auburn. Why that popped up on that page. But here's my current thing. And you know, this is all of our join our team. So we got some information. There's my Throwback Thursday. So when I go into Meta Business Suite, we have the option when we schedule through Meta Business Suite to post on both Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So you are going to see that sometimes I do and sometimes I don't post on both. So I'm just going to show you that basically the answer, Jennifer, is it is okay. Okay. So I'm not about telling you got to do 50,000 things a day just for social media when you have, you know, all these other things to do. So like, here's a post I scheduled for both Instagram and Facebook, and it's the same exact text. Okay. So I had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures. I tried to crop those to squares so they're going to look good on Instagram or on Facebook. So in that case, I did it both at once. In some cases, I'll post just to Facebook first, and then maybe I'll pull it over to Instagram later and just do that right on my phone. But it is okay to do both at once. Sometimes we do posts on Facebook and then we put it in stories on Instagram and Facebook. So then that's in a different spot. But there's just some different methods, but I hope that helps, Jennifer, on that question. And anything else that you see, Jen, that we should answer?
No, I think we're good. We are at time though. So I'm going to let you finish, but I'm just going to say, so I am going to be sending out the recording. I'm going to be sending out the slide deck. We also have a free editable and downloadable Canva template for you to download, brand to your school, and then print out so you can have your social media profile links spread across your school. We have a new blog post that's going to be going out that talks about how you can use digital signage to enhance your social media. So a ton of great things coming out. And Andrea, I'll turn it over to you for anything else.
Reach out if you've got more questions. I've got a lot of information over on my website. I just want to give a big shout out to Jennifer. She's been so awesome to work with through this entire process. And I just know that Rise Vision is in super great hands, and she has a good understanding of social media as well and the marketing efforts. So she's going to get you like all the goods. You're going to have all the resources. She's got a blog coming out. I've got a blog coming out that's going to help highlight these things as well. So you can sign up for my free newsletter over on my site. But this was a great team effort here, and it's pretty popular. So we're probably going to come back later in the year with another topic. But thanks so much, Jennifer, for including me.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Thank you everyone for joining us. Keep an eye on your email for all of those freebies.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.